Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Happy Monday to you all. I know I'm here a little late again. I had some paperwork to do, and it took a long time, so I had to finish it up. And now I'm here with you guys. How you guys doing today? It's Monday. It seems like the weekend goes by so quickly, guys. As soon as you bat your eyes, it's already Monday, right? And still suffering with allergies, even though I'm taking something with it, but it's not as bad as it was. So, how are you guys doing? How are these messages helping you? Tell me in the comment category how these messages are resonating with you and helping you. I would love to hear from you guys. And remember, let's keep this positive. We don't want to disrespect or upset anyone, or, this is a positive place where we all want to grow, heal, and evolve and help others to do the same. It's so important, guys, especially in this world that we live in today that's so full of hate and toxicity. That's the way I can sum it up. So never allow yourself to be bitter and fall into the category of bitterness, hate, etc., because it will stagnate your growth. So guys, keep moving, keep going, stay in prayer, ask God to help you. If you have a support system, utilize that. It's important to have that as well, whatever it is, whether it's therapy, family, friends, or a significant other. Anyone who's going to uplift you, especially at times where you don't feel so great, use that to your advantage, guys. I know I do that with therapy. I still do therapy every week. It's so important to my healing and growth. So with that being said, guys, keep in mind I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker, or a counselor. I'm just somebody who talks from a space of personal experiences and how I didn't succumb to the pain, the hurt, the trauma. I overcame it, is what I'm saying. And now what I do is continue to heal, and I talk about it here on this channel so that I can help other people. Perhaps you'll hear something that's going to resonate with you within your own circumstances, and perhaps it'll help you as well, as these things have helped me. So with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion, guys. The title is Love Yourself Enough to Know What You Deserve. Love yourself enough to know what you deserve. I think what happens a lot of times is that people who stay in situations and their self-esteem is so low, they don't know how to climb out of it. But once you start to do the work to heal, you start to see things from a different perspective as you stay on that journey to heal. None of these things happen right away, but you will see the results. You start to love yourself, you start to see things from a different perspective. And you start to understand, as you love yourself in self-care, not only what's for your highest good, but what you deserve. And for me, for a long time, being in abusive situations and just horrific situation, I always knew it was something I didn't deserve. But, I had to learn why these things were happening, the root cause. And then, like I say on this channel all the time, people, situations, and circumstances come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. In my case, I was repeating unlearned lessons, cycles of it. It felt like a needle on a broken record that just kept spinning with the same music going on and on and on without ending, until I started to do the work with therapy and start to see things from a different perspective. That the reason why these things were happening, it was the same vicious cycle, different characters, but the same situation. And I had to learn from it. Once I learned why I was attracting these toxic situations and I got to the root cause of it, then I got off that will of attracting those things. And as I learned what was for my highest good and what wasn't, and that I had a choice in a matter, guys, just like you have a choice in a matter to stay or to set boundaries and then decide at some point to close doors because it no longer serves you. That's what I've learned so far in this journey. And it doesn't matter, about the noise, about what people feel about that. We are supposed to put ourselves as a priority. Our mental and physical health will always suffer and be neglected if we allow toxic and abusive situations to continue in our life. As you heal, you start to learn that you don't have to settle. Maybe like for me growing up, I did a video a few days ago, probably last week, where I talked about being subservient and how it started. Once I got to the root cause of why I was doing that, then I learned how to do things differently. And one of the things my therapist kept saying over and over again is to set boundaries, because that's the starting point of changing things for the better. And one of the other things I learned as I self-love and self-care, and I stayed on this journey, even though it was hard at times, but I never gave up on myself. And never give up on yourself, people, because if you give up on you, what do you have? So what I learned after, learning how to self-love and self-care is to never return to something that almost broke you. No matter what, that situation is, and the way I did that, guys, is I learned that was a learning experience for me. It was unlearned lessons. And once I learned the lesson, I can set boundaries or even close doors so that I can move on to better things in life. Learn from the pain instead of becoming bitter from it. Because believe me, guys, for a while I was bitter about a lot of things, because I would look at situations and see people with different lives, families that was solid rock and etc. And I never had that. I was always the black sheep of the family, and I still am. But I learned how to look at that from a different perspective, and because before I started to do the work to look at things that way, I was just thinking there was something wrong with me at first, until I started to put those pieces of the puzzle together that I always use as a metaphor, and learned that it's okay to be different. It's okay to march to a different beat of the drum. Why do I need to be like everybody else? Why do you need to be like everybody else? Why can't you be your authentic self? Because in this world today is so much fakeness. Fake love, fake friends, fake hugs, and it doesn't get you anywhere really in life. So I learned to be my authentic self, and it doesn't matter who, what, why, or where. When I'm my authentic self, I can heal, grow, and evolve, and I can be the best version of myself instead of twisting myself inside and out like a pretzel for somebody else's sake. We need to live our life to the fullest. Live your life to the fullest. It's so important, guys, to be yourself. You'll feel better about yourself, instead of living by what somebody else wants. And that's what I had to learn so far being on this journey. Know that you're not alone, that other people have gone through this, because I thought this was an isolated situation until I started listening to other people's stories about their pain, grief, and what they've gone through, their trauma. And I said, wow, I'm not alone in this. And I started to appreciate hearing these things from other people and how they got through it. And sometimes that's what we need: encouragement, motivation to keep going. Because if you get stuck in a place of bitterness, you're stagnated. You can't grow, heal, or evolve. You're just stuck there. And remember, the parties involved that hurt you real bad and brought a lot of pain to you, they take your power and they go and move on with their life while you stay stuck in a place of bitterness, and they move on, so snatch your power back and forgive. And forgive doesn't mean that you reconcile with these people who almost broke you. You forgive so that you can go on. You forgive yourself as well and learn the lesson so that you can move on. And then that way you don't stay stuck in a place of bitterness, because I was there for a moment, for a while, until I learned the true meaning of forgiveness. It's not for them, it's for me, it's for you, so that you can release and take back your power and move on and set boundaries or even close doors if it's necessary. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck. And also, addressing the elephant in the room is so important. Instead of pretending it's not there, because nobody can grow, heal, and evolve when you're pretending the pain doesn't exist or it didn't happen, or etc. or so forth. You stay stuck in that. Address it head on. Let yourself feel the pain, and then start doing the work to heal. And what that means is start taking care of you. Make yourself a priority. Your mental and physical health. Start taking care of yourself one day at a time. Do things on a daily basis that uplift your spirit. I mean, look around us in this world today. When I know when I'm out sometimes and I do a kind act for somebody, if somebody's in the supermarket and they can't reach something, and I climb and I get up there and reach it and get it for them, or hold the door open, people are looking at me like I'm crazy. What do you want? Because in this world we live in today, an act of kindness seems to be a rare commodity in this world today. People think there's something wrong with you. And I'm looking at them like something's wrong with them, because kindness, love, do unto others as you want done unto you. And that seems to be forgotten about in a world that we live in today, built on fakeness. When something is not built on When something is not built on a solid foundation, it's going to crack and fall apart at some point. So, when something is fake and not real, it eventually falls apart. Learn to love yourself, because when you love yourself, you start to grow, heal, and evolve. You start to self-care, and then you get to a place of inner peace where you're not bothered by the noise. When I first started this journey and haters were coming all over the place talking, one of the things that bothered me the most was the malicious lies of things saying that I did some horrific stuff that I would never do. And I learned through therapy that these people are doing this because I no longer have them in my life. Because, I would set boundaries, and when they would disrespect them, I would just cut off, block, and delete. So they were on some kind of revenge train or something to do something. And I had to learn, through prayer and meditation to tune that stuff out, guys. And as you do the work to heal yourself, and when I say heal, take care of yourself. Engage for 2 hours a day in the things that makes you happy, that uplift your spirit. And prayer, ask God to help you. And that's what I do. And at first it may feel uncomfortable, hard, or but as you continue to persistently and consistently do these things, it becomes easy, like second nature. It's like you're learning how to drive, and then it feels so like tense and uncomfortable at first, and then as you continue to do it, you become more comfortable with it, like second nature. And that's how it is with this healing journey. You're gonna fall, have days where you just feel off or etc. But get right back up, brush yourself off the next day, and keep going. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. Um, when you realize that you're not alone, that other people have stories like this, and that they personal experiences like this, and they've gone through these things and they became an overcomer, you realize you're not alone in this. That other people have gone through these similar experiences, but they learn to turn that pain into power, power into a purpose, to pay it forward to help others as they help themselves. The one thing that helped me the most to stay on this journey was to set boundaries, because a lot of people was just saying a whole bunch of things, but I had to learn to tune it out, and one of the ways to tune it out was to set strong boundaries. And some of these people got to the point where they were stepping and crossing and jumping over these boundaries, and I had to cut off, block, and delete. And they thought I was playing as a game. This is not a game to me, because I've made vows to God as I did to work the hill when I was at the lowest point of my life where you couldn't get any lower. And I started to do the work. I made vows to God. Not only would I help myself, but I would help other people through my experiences, telling them how I did it. And not only that, some other vows. So I don't play with God, and I don't play about this, and I don't play about my healing. Because all these things that happen affect all this pain and all this stuff, trauma, affects your mental and physical health. And guys, if you're not okay mentally or physically, you can't help yourself or anything else around you. So that's why this should be a priority. And setting boundaries will keep you focused on this journey of healing, because it'll be distractions all around you to try to get your attention away from what you're doing, which is mostly important, taking care of yourself. So set strong boundaries and stand by them. Close doors that no longer serve you. And when you do that, God will open up new doors. I'm living proof of that. I used to cry my eyes out about closing doors and cutting off, blocking, and delete, until these people were saying the most and the worst. And they made it easier for me to padlock these doors behind me. And as I did that and stayed in prayer with God, asking him to help me and taking steps, God would be taking 2, 3, and 4 steps behind me. But as what I noticed as I closed those doors over here, God was opening up new doors over here, guys. And as he opened up new doors, it was better situations, better people, better circumstances. And I started to praise him like, wow, this is, I have to just keep going. And then as I continue to do the work, and music is a healing source. I have roses, but music, I have a headset, and I just put on a playlist when I feel like my motivation at days, we have those off days. I use music, and it's a healing force, guys. Do that. Get a playlist of your favorite music and just take some time to listen to that. And believe me, within 45 minutes to an hour, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Never allow yourself to stay in a place of self-pity and woe is me kind of thing because of the problems and circumstances or situations that you have. One day at a time, one step at a time. And surround yourself with people who are positive. Because what I noticed when I had people around me that were just miserable, misery loves company, and then you could be around these folks for 15 minutes and they can change your whole mood, especially when you high vibing. And I just started to set boundaries and stay away from folks like that. And as I did that, God opened up new doors, new situations, better situations. One day at a time, guys, one step at a time. The key factor is to persevere. We're talking about yourself, your mental and physical health, which is everything. You keep moving forward and you will see the results. Slowly you will start to see the results, and you'll be glad that you did this. Continue to move forward. You're going to have an off day here and there, but get right back up the next day and keep moving forward. That's how we win this battle. This is how we win, when we persevere and keep going and moving forward. Let's continue to do that, guys. Turn this pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help ourselves as we help others. This is how we win. Thank you for being here today. This is Lisa, shedding love and light, guys. Please share this message with other people who you know that need to be uplifted and needs to hear the message. And I will be back tomorrow. Not sure of the time. I know it will be earlier than this. So subscribe to the channel. Invite others here to do the same, guys. And let's keep this going. Thank you, guys, and have a great evening. And I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.